Hey Stamp friends, welcome to the Joy Stamp with Rachel. I'm Rachel Coon and today is Fun Fold Friday. I'm going to use the Round We Go stamp set with dies, which creates the bundle, to make this really fun fold today using those amazing dies, and it opens up to reveal our happy birthday in the inside. And I love that we can see the front on the inside as well as this pulls to flip open. All right, this card is really fun, but I have a lot of tips for it. Be sure to leave me a comment because I love hearing from you, and one lucky person will get the card that we make in our video today. I am using the stamps for this one, the happy birthday, time to celebrate, and this little guy right here that has the pointed edge versus the scallop edge for stamping. Let me go ahead and show you some of these pieces first, and then we'll do some cutting. All right, so we have our card base, and we have it scored at 2 locations. So this is 1 1/4, and this is the 4 1/4. This is what's going to create that fun fold that we're going to be needing here in just a minute. I'm going to go ahead and get that started so you can see. And we'll crease that one, and then we're going to fold this front one back to open it up. Okay. And that's it for this one fold. And the fun thing about this one, you can use any stamp set dies to go along with this. And the reason I'm using this one is because my friends, stamping friends, took a vote and said they wanted to see this one for Fun Fold Friday, the Round We Go set. Okay, that's our card base. We'll set that aside. We'll have some basic white for the inside. We'll do some stamping on that in a minute. Let me show you the dies to this and where I got them. So I have them inside. I have a magnetic piece I've attached to the inside of my stamp set so I don't lose them. And there are 2 things. So we have a rosette, which is this green piece here. I'm using the Designer Series paper, and I'm using the Bright DSP for that one. Excuse me. So in order to make that full rosette, you have to die cut 2 pieces. Using this die here, it kind of looks like a fence, right? Let me show you my tips for that one in just a minute. You also will need a backing, which is this larger scalloped looking circle here. And then you'll need a centerpiece there, which you'll find pretty quickly that a lot of these images together makes kind of like a flower look to it, which is really fun. For the pinwheel, you're going to need 2 of our basic whites, and that's going to be die cut from this scallop that's more of a starburst look. And then I've used Poppy Parade and Coastal Cabana for the centers of these pinwheels here. And that one I did 1 of each. So I have a scalloped one, and then I have more of the starburst with that pointed edge there. So those are the dies we've used for this one. And let me show you our Designer Series paper and get that cut together. Usually I do this step all by myself or beforehand, so that way it speeds up time, but I want to show you how to use your 6x6 piece of paper to its fullest. You usually want to cut the biggest cut first, which is going to be our 5 1/4, and I want my lines to go up and down this way, so I'm going to turn it this way, so that way it's going perpendicular to my cutting blade. And I'm going to go to the 5 1/4, and we're going to just cut off that little tidbit there. Okay, you'll have this. Save it for another fun card later. Turn it this way, and we're going to do the next biggest cut that we have. So our next one is going to be the 2 3/4. Here's my 2. Move it up to my 3/4. And I'm going to flip this card. So this one I have more of the floral image on the outside. I'm this time going to have my stripes be the front and the fun fold part be the floral. So stripes for my big part here. That's 2 3/4. And then I'm going to have stripes on the outside, which is going to be 1 1/4. So we'll move this now over to that 1 1/4 spot. This is going to go inside our card. And then I'm going to flip this one over. This is going to be our floral piece. And this is just going to be that 1 inch. Make sure it's lined up nicely. Go on this edge here. There we go. Put your blade down. And go up and down for that one. And there we go. Those are pieces. You will have a scrap left over, which you can use. So out of this one 6 by 6, I only have these 2 scraps left over, which is pretty good as far as not being wasteful with our paper. Okay, set those aside. We'll glue those to our card base in just a minute. Let's go ahead and do our, let's make our rosette, because that one takes some dry time, and to me is what gave me the hardest time. Oh my goodness, it was kind of funny. I'm going to flip this over because I'm going to do it the opposite way that I did it for the first one. And let me start with just one. You're going to do the folding of it. So you're going to go in and out, in and out. And actually we're going to do it face up because this is the way I scored it. And I was going to do this piece beforehand, so I apologize. So what I like to have done, this is just like the paper that you go back and forth to make a fan. And luckily the die will cut that score for you. So it's a lot easier than just trying to measure and fold, like a lot of rosette making or fan making. And one piece will only make half, so it will look very fan-like when you do it. I do want you to notice there's a tab side and a non-tab side, and there's a scalloped edge here. Let's get closer, scalloped edge, and then more of that starburst edge. You can use either side. I did the starburst edge for this one. We're gonna switch it and do more of the scallop edge for this one. And then for this, there's a tab. You always do tab to no tab for our connecting our 2 pieces. And I tried liquid glue and it tried my patience because you just have to wait. So I'm using tear tape on this. And I also struggled to get the fold to be right from one piece to the next. So my tip to you is to fold one, connect it, and then fold the other. That way you know you are good to go. For some reason, I kept on doing it like the opposite way. And then it just didn't work right. And then I would try to fix it after I glued it together, and that wasn't working either. When you use tear tape, there'll be some leftover pieces that are hanging over. You just tack that back in. Okay, here's our little tab side. We're gonna connect it so it goes behind our other side. And you'll see that scallops top to starburst bottom, like that. And pinch, and then you can continue with that folding of every other one we got going on here. There we go. Press and pinch, press and pinch. This is the Granny Apple Green Designer Series paper for this one, which is super fun. Braids I thought was a great one to do for summer. However, I was looking at this and these would be really fun for a Christmas card using more traditional Christmas colors. They also look very much like fireworks, so this would have been a great 4th of July card set to make. Okay, so now you're gonna have one long strand. Go back through and double check to make sure these are going the right way. They should, because we folded it together, but just make sure they're good to go. Okay, that looks good. Then we're gonna get these 2 and connect it, making like a bracelet or a circle, like that. See how we're gonna form a circle. We're gonna use our tear tape again because that is our friend for time. And I'm okay tucking in tear tape, so that way it's not messy. But the liquid glue, I tell you, you just have to be patient and be able to either pinch and hold. I even grabbed like this little binder clip and was using that one earlier to kind of hold it when I use liquid glue. So if you don't have tear tape, you could still make this. And I made my tear tape way too long, so it's gonna have a lot of tuck over. That's okay. We'll tuck each side. Remember, we're gonna make a circle, or that looks like kind of like a bracelet. And we're gonna attach it now to this other side here, going behind it like that. And that should make our marks all match. Okay, fun part here. You can choose to either go scallop edge by gathering and pushing down. Oh, this is the starburst edge for this one. Or you can go the other way by flipping it over. Nope. Don't flip. Here's this way. Just by pushing in. There we go, almost. And now we have our scalloped edge. So that's my plan for this one. We're gonna have it being scallop out and not the starburst out. And you can kind of see the difference there. And all I did was I took that center and we gathered it together. Then we have to get our piece for our backing and our liquid glue. This is where liquid glue comes in handy. You could use tear tape as well, but the liquid glue allows you a little bit more forgiveness. And since we have other steps to do, I'm okay waiting for it to dry. Okay, liquid glue over here. We're gonna pinch these guys together. And we're gonna carefully place it on top of that liquid glue, okay? You don't have to hold it forever. Keep your finger there, grab a clear block, and place on top of it. Squish it back in if you want it to be a little bit tighter. And then we're gonna set this aside by scooting it carefully to our corner here, and he's gonna continue to do his dry time. We'll add his little piece here in just a minute as well, after it has a little bit more time to dry. We're gonna do our stamping now. So we're gonna grab our foam mat because we're using photopolymer, which is a clear stamps, so we can see right through it, which is great. We're gonna do our Coastal Cabana first. Set this aside. We'll also need this piece for happy birthday. Okay. For this guy, you have to kind of line it up, but it's pretty forgiving. So the nice thing is that we can see right through it. I'm gonna go center. I'm gonna say, hey, that looks like I have some of those starbursts matching up. I'm gonna press down, I'm gonna lift up, and then I'm gonna turn it ever so slightly to make it a two-tone one. We're gonna fill in those white gaps and press down. You could leave it without, and it could just be one color, but I kind of really like that two-tone look here. I could leave this alone and not even add that centerpiece now, and I could just have it as like that and not have that extra die piece, but we'll do both. We need to wipe this off and we get ready for the next color. We'll let that dry while we do our happy birthday for the inside. It's best to stamp before you attach. So let's get that nice. And put the top of that basic white. Awesome. Okay, put that ink color away and let's go on to our Poppy Parade. That's our next color for our pinwheel. And ink this one up. There we go. Line it up so that way you have it meeting some of those starburst lines. About center. There will be some white space, so it won't line up exactly to the edge. And then see, it looks really awesome just that way alone, but we're gonna turn it and do the color in for those whites by just turning ever so slightly. Awesome. So fun, so fun. Okay, we are almost ready to assemble. We're gonna grab some glue dots. And grab 2 of them. Before we glue dot that, we're gonna hurry and liquid glue to our rosette here in the corner. We didn't forget about it, but we do want to put a clear black back on. Here's that die of that Granny Apple Green for our center. Get that pretty nice with some liquid glue. Set it on top of our rosette in the center and clear block it. He's doing the job for us, keeping him busy over there by putting some weight and pressure to have that glue attach. Okay. Now we can get our glue dot, put that to the dot to our starburst that we've cut out. And again, you'll see that this one has more of the pointed edge to it. And it doesn't matter how you place it on. You could place it over the white spot, you could place it over the red spot. I'm placing it just so that way the middle is the only part so that's being attached. And so that way it has that fun lift up feel to it. And I'm going to go just off-centered a little bit and press down. Oh, that's looking really fun. Let me get them close up so you can see a little bit better. Look how fun that is. So much texture and dimension. I'm loving it. Okay, set those guys aside. Let's start gluing in our card base pieces while that guy finishes. Again, I'm switching out my look to this one, and I'm going to do stripes more so, and then our piece here will be the floral one for that fold over. Liquid glue to the back. Start with one as your guide, because we're going to try to line these up so they look like it's nicely going in the same side. So now I'm going to fold this one over, and the smaller one, so that's the 1-inch one, he's going to go here. Put some liquid glue on the back of it, flip it over, place it right here, almost shimmy it, so I'm making sure that it looks like it's lining up there. And then our last DSP part, again, it's going to be stripes. You can open this one up, and we'll do some eyeballing and then moving as needed. So then I'm going to close it up again. And I did pretty good. I just kind of push it up a little bit if it looks like it's not completely lined up, but that looks pretty nice. Grab our basic white for the inside for our greeting. I don't know about you, but I have a lot of friends who have July birthdays. I have 2 in my household family, and then 2 as a child growing up. My brothers have July birthdays as well. So I'm always in need of birthday cards. But confession time, I've been really bad this year sending out birthday cards. So hopefully making this will get me excited. This one will definitely need some extra postage if you send it in the mail because of how bulky and amazing it is. So keep that in mind. This could be a better one to hand off to someone. Okay, now we have that part of it already ready. I do have the time to celebrate we're going to attach by fussy cutting it out. I already did the stamping for it, and I'm taking my paper snips and I'm cutting around. I want this bottom word that's in cursive to be more rounded on the edges, kind of just going around some of these letters here, having some white space between it, so make sure you're not cutting into that stamp. And then for the time too, I'm doing a straight edge right across. There we go. Nice. Now we should be ready to assemble. We're going to start with our 2 colors first, and I'm going to grab some dimensionals, and I'm doing something a little bit different with my dimensionals. Usually I put dimensionals on the back of our pieces. This time I'm going to put dimensionals directly on here, because I want them to be able to not get stuck down. And then I'm going to put dimensionals directly on the bottom here. And since we're still here, we're going to add them in the middle, straight the middle. So right, middle, left. Remove the backing of your top one and add only half of your pinwheel, making sure that it's staying within our card base. Remove the backing of the bottom ones. Again, we're only having half on this side. Keep it within the bounds of the card base. Nice. Remove these 2, and our amazing rosette should be ready to go. It's been glued and attached. Have that go right in that center there. So cute. Now we can add this guy. You can either do liquid glue or a glue dot. I think last time I did a glue dot, so we'll do that again. See if it sticks on there well. You might even do 2 glue dots though. So put in 1 glue dot, push and pill. Oh, that one needs some more heat. There we go. Flip it and add it to our rosette there. I did do a little bit embellishing with the transparent adhesive back dots, and I use this awesome, I think this is a Lucky Limeade, but it looks great on the Granny Apple Green for the center of this one. And then I used the clear ones or the cloudy colored ones and kept it with the large and put in the center of these 2 as well. So much fun. All right, you guys, I hope you've loved learning how to make this card. Let me get it close up so you can see the difference between that scalloped edge versus the starburst rosette and practice these. Let me tell you, I practiced and it wasn't working until I found out the method that worked best for me. So use like scrap paper or use your printer paper before you start playing with these dies, just so you can build confidence and know what works best for you. But I'm excited that that's the way I was able to make it, and it turned out great. Have a wonderful Friday, everyone. Please subscribe and like this video so you can see more. Happy stamping, everyone. Goodbye.